Greetings, my empire. Drezu here back with another video, and today we doing another ESO build video. And today I'm gonna be sharing with y'all my Magicka Templar build for Blackwood. Now, Blackwood, you know, pretty big update. This update came with a pretty few changes to the game. You know, CP changes, of course. You know, the new proc set scaling, and even Templars got a couple of changes to their abilities and stuff like that. So when the update first came out, you already know, I hopped on my Templar. That was the first character I hopped on, you know, just to see what they changed, you know, see what was different, see what was new. And you know, if I could revise a build, you know, that would be good with those changes. And I think I've accomplished that. You know what I mean? The build I've come up with, the build I've made, I've been really enjoying it so far in Blackwood. I feel like this build really complements you know, the new changes that's come with Templar. Yeah, it just performs so well in all forms of PvP, dueling, Cyrodiil, Imperial City, BGs. I had no problem with any of those forms of PvP with this build. Before we get into the build, you already know, I want to ask y'all to hit the like button, subscribe, join the empire. You already know, helps me out, helps the channel out, and helps the channel grow. Now let's get into the build. So first, you already know, we go to the character sheet. Now this is actually my defense bar. My defense bar is actually my front bar. I know it's kind of weird, but hey, I'm a weird person. But let's go through the raw stats. So first we have 28,000 max Magicka with 1,700 Magicka recovery, 27,000 maximum health, 200 health recovery, 15,000 maximum stamina, and 680 stamina recovery. Now, in terms of your Magicka and stamina resources, I know our stamina is kind of like, our recovery for stamina is kind of low. You know, Magicka Templars always have a problem with, you know, stamina sustain. I've always feel like they've had that problem. But with this build, once I get into the abilities, I'm going to show y'all that you're not gonna have any problems with stamina, and no problems with stamina, no problems with Magicka, and of course no problems with health. You feel me? But in terms of those resources, stamina, Magicka, you're not gonna have a problem with those. You're not gonna run out of those. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna get more into detail of that when we get to the abilities. But like I said, this is our defense bar. So our spell resistance is 28k. Our physical resistance is 22k. Our crit resistance is 2,000. Now to go on our back bar, which is actually our attack bar, we have 4,000 spell damage and 8,000 spell penetration. Now let's show the buff stats. Now we sit at 5,300 spell damage buff, still 8,000 penetration, but 30% spell crit. Now 30% is not the highest amount of spell crit. I'll admit it's not the highest, but in terms of our jabbing with 30% spell crit, it's actually gonna give you pretty consistent crits. You know, jabs being our spellable, you're gonna get pretty consistent crits with 30%. So you know, really good that we made it to 30% with the build. And buff resistances, I mean, our buff resistances, we sit at 34,000 spell resistance and 28k physical resistance. Now do not take those resistances as face value, because those do go up with our sets, which I will show you, you feel me, when we get to the sets. But do not take those at face value. Our resistances does go up. Now that is one change that the Templars did get, is that our ruin does not give us resistances anymore. Instead it gives us a heal. Like, so even if I go out of ruin, I'm still gonna have the same. In the ruin, I'm still gonna have the same. The ruin does not affect our resistances anymore. You feel me? Now back to the character sheet. We have 64 and to the Magicka attribute. We are an Argonian. Now Argonian, I feel like, is one of the best races for Templar. especially Magplar, just for the you know, the natural healing Argonian gets. We get 6% healing done, which is really good for a Templar, which is always getting healing. You feel me? Max health is really good. We always want that max health. Disease and poison resistance, I really like that. You feel me? The werewolves is gonna have a hard time taking Argonians down. You know, disease and poison resistance. Poisons in general is used a lot. There's a lot of poisons dots. There's a lot of, you know, people using poison inject, just stuff like that. And to have resistances from poison is really good, because a lot of people are using poisons. Increase your max Magicka again. Oh no, increase your max Magicka. Sorry, I thought that was max health. Increase your max Magicka and stamina by 1,000, which I really like that they changed that. I think they changed that on Argonian Flames of Ambition. If it was not Flames of Ambition, it was Markarth. But I really like that they gave Argonians 1,000 max stamina, because it really helps out. Like I said, you know, how Templars struggle with, you know, stamina sustain. And as an Argonian, when you drink a potion, you restore 3,000 health, Magicka, and stamina. Now this is really good when you pair this with a tripod. So when you pair that with restore potions, when you press, basically when you pop a potion, you get everything back. You get everything back. You get your stamina, you get your Magicka, you get everything back like that easily, because we just get so much with the Argonian passives plus the Crown Trial Restoration Potion. It's so good. It's so good. You're not gonna worry about your resources when you pop pots. You feel me? Now back to the character sheet. We have the Astronaut Mundus, you know, for the extra Magicka recovery. Now, if you feel like you can, you know, maneuver around this build, like work around this build where you don't need as much Magicka recovery, you're free to switch this to the Apprentice or anything you want. Anything you want, you are feel free to switch it, because if you could work with a lower Magicka pool, that's fine. You feel me? But I have the Astronaut because I generally like having a higher Magicka pool, especially on Magplar. You feel me? I want the most Magicka recovery I could get. So, you know what I mean? I have the Astronaut. But like I said, if you feel like you could work with a lower Magicka recovery, by all means, switch your Mundus. I have the ice cream food. It's actually not called the ice cream food. I don't know why it says that in the stats. It's called Ghastly Eyeball, and this just gives you raw Magicka stats. This gives you 4,600 max Magicka and almost 500 Magicka recovery. Just such a good food if you just want raw Magicka sustain. Just such a good food. Why am I going to stats? Character. And we are at Vampire Stage 3. Now we are at Vampire Stage 3 mainly due to Stage 3 is the best for Magplar, so we can get the Undeath passive, which reduces our damage taken based on our missing health by 30%. This is going to pair really good with one of our sets, or not even one of our, both of our sets that we are running. This is gonna pair really good with those 5P sets, which I'm gonna show you. You feel me? But this is why we're Stage 3, to get the Undeath passive. You know what I'm saying? Now to go to the sets. So for our first 5P set, we are running Pariah. Now I'm running the Pariah Restoration Staff. Now I ran the Pariah Restoration Staff mainly due to because I'm running a sword as my damage. So using the sword as your damage, you know what I mean, you're not gonna get a Magicka from you know, doing heavy attacks with your sword. But so I had to go Restoration Staff. I mean, it's not like I had to, like it's a sacrifice. Sword and Shield is really good too, or Restoration Staff. Restoration Staff is good as well because it gives you that heal word regeneration. But Pariah Restoration Staff We have the absorb Magicka enchantment, so you could get more Magicka on your heavy attacks and plus do you know, a little bit of magic damage on top of that. We have defending, so we could be more tankier on this bar. And what Pariah does is it gives you a line of maximum health, a line of armor, another line of armor, and increases your physical spell resistance by up to 9,850 based off your mixing health. Our current value, this set, when you have 100 health, you know, 100% health, it gives you 2,000, almost 300 resistances. Now, like I said, you know, when we was going through the stats, do not take our resistances at face value. When our health drops below a certain percent, we get so many resistances. Like we get so armored up by the time when our health drops. And like I said, this pairs really well with Undeath, because Undeath is also giving us protections as our health goes down. So resistances and protections powered up on each other as our health goes down give us a lot of fortitude. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's going to be really hard to drop us. Now for the front bar, I'm running an i-SamAdamN's Greatsword, Crusher's enchantment, Sharpen. Wait, let me explain. The Crusher enchantment and Sharpen, just for penetrations. I feel like, you know, we do have decent amount of pen. You know, we get 8,000 regularly, but Crusher just adds that you know, icing on the cake for pen. I feel like we broke. I broke the amount of spell damage that I wanted. You know what I mean? 4,000 and over is the spell damage I wanted on this, or no, not 4,000, 5,000 and over is the spell damage I wanted on this build. So I just say, you know what, instead of putting a weapon damage, I could go opt for more penetration. But you can put spell damage if you want the spell damage. Hey, it's you feel me? Now the only reason I'm running an i-SamAdamN is for the 2-piece that gives us 129 spell damage. Now, if you want to, right? If you want to, you can run what's it called? Wrath of Elements. The Wrath of Elements lightning staff. Now, the reasons I don't run Wrath of Elements on this build is because I feel like I get more by running a sword. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I get more. Swords give us natural, you know, let's go to the sword, two-handed right now. Swords give us natural spell damage, and the passive, we get 284 spell damage with the passive with a sword. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Wrath of Elements, even though it does a lot of damage if the target, you know what I mean, is staying close to you, I feel like it's too easy to break that link that Wrath of Elements provides. It's too easy to break that link, and I don't like that I'm forced to run it in a staff. You feel me? I feel like staffs on Magicka Templars, you know, destruction staff on Magicka Templars is like, you know, a thing of the past now. Destruction staff don't give you too much anymore. The lightning staff gives you what, 8%, gives you an 8% increase and your area effect abilities, which does help our jabs. You know, it does help our jabs. It does help our radical sweep and stuff like that. But I feel like I would rather have the 284 spell damage that, you know, two-handed gives us in the passive, instead of that 8% damage increase. You know what I'm saying? And follow-up is really good too. Follow-up really helps burst down enemies as well. You feel me? When you complete a fully charged heavy attack, your next direct damage attack using 7 seconds deals an additional 10%. I really like follow-up as well. Gives that extra damage bonus to our jab, so I really like that. So yeah. So that's why we run an i-SamAdamN's Greatsword. Like I said, you don't have to run an i-SamAdamN's. Any sword that gives you, when the 2-piece gives you spell damage or stuff like that, would be fine. But like I say, if you really feel like you want to run Wrath of Elements, if you really feel like it's really a game changer, go ahead. I just don't feel like it is. The link is too easy to break, and I don't want to run a destruction staff. Now we get into our armor. We do run 5 light. and 2 heavy pieces. All the big pieces, so the helmet, chest, and legs have the multi-effect enchantment, and you want to run end pin on all your gear. I know I have invigorating on this piece. You feel me? I always want to just change this, but I always forget. But you want end pin. I have invigorating. I need to change it with transmute crystals. But monster set, we are running pirate skeleton. Like I said, multi-effect. And what pirate skeleton does is it gives you a line of armor. Then second piece, when you take damage to your health, you transform into a skeleton and gain major protection and minor fire for 15 seconds, reducing your damage taken by 10%, but reducing your healing receive and health recovery by 8%. Now this set is really good on Magicka Templar, and let me tell you why. So it gives us major protection, which is really good. Major protection is not what it used to be, you feel me? I remember when major protection used to give you 30% mitigations, but you feel me, 10% mitigations is still really good. You know what I'm saying? It's still really good. It's something that's really good. You know, especially when you're on the attack. I feel like another thing that I had problems with before on Magplar is sustaining myself while I'm doing damage. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I would take too much burst damage. You know, a lot of just chunks of my health going away as I'm on the attack. This really helps. You know what I mean? Because when this pops up, it's basically just like a cue. Just it's time for you to attack. You got a protection buff on your body, so even if you're attacking and the person is doing damage to you as well, you're not going to be taking a lot of damage while you're on the attack. You feel me? And the debuff that this gives you, the healing receive decrease and the health recovery, this is basically nothing to us. You know what I'm saying? This is basically nothing to us because we have so much healing on this build. Losing that 8% healing received is basically going to do nothing to us. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of healing, you know, in our passives, in our you know, our race passives and CP. We have so much healing increases that this healing debuff is really not going to do a lot to us. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to do a lot to us. So the benefit we get, it way outshines the detriment we get from this set. So this is why we run Pirate Skeleton. Now for our second 5-piece set, we are running Ancient Dragon Guard. This is the heavy chest. Like I said, all big pieces have multi-effect and pen. What Ancient Dragon Guard gives you, it gives you a line of max health, a line of spell damage, a line of crit chance, and adds 300 weapon damage, 300 spell damage while your health is above 50%, and adds 3,400 physical spell resistance while your health is below 50%. Now 50% or less, you know what I'm saying? Now the reason this is so good, bro, not only do we have Pariah giving us resistances, you know, when we lose health, not only do we have protections from undeath, you know what I mean, when we lose health, not only do we have the protection from Pirate Skeleton, but when we go below 50% health with this build, we're stacking up another 3,400 protections, bro. Another 3,400, bro. This whole combination, I like to call it the pen stealer. I like to call this whole setup the pen stealer. And the reason I like to call it the pen stealer, because basically when we drop below 50% health, we're basically taking the penetration that people have on us. We're basically stripping that away from them. When we drop below 50% health, our resistances hit 40 to max 50k resistances, you know what I mean, with this setup, you feel me? And we're basically taking away people's pen. You feel me? We basically taking away people's pen. We're like almost doing the calculations, you know, max. We're almost like 15k plus penetration, I mean resistances over the cap, you know what I'm saying? And I know what you might be thinking. Why do you have so many resistances? You know, the cap is 32,000. Why do you have over cap? And the reason I have over cap resistances, right, is because even though I am overcapping my resistances, those extra resistances is just not invisible. Penetration still needs to go through those extra resistances, right? You feel me? So what my build does is it gives us an armor only for penetration. So by the time they actually hit the resistances that matter, when they hit 32, they'll be at like 0 penetration or close to 0 penetration, because we have so much armor, extra armor, you know, above cap, that as soon as they hit the 32k mark on our penetration, they're almost at 0 pen. They basically have 0 penetration against us, which is really, really good. It makes us really, really tanky. You know what I'm saying? And Ancient Dragon Guard, you know what I mean, the 300 spell damage when we are above 50% health is really good as well. You know what I mean? Like I said, you know, when Pirate Skeleton activates, we got that 10%, you know, mitigation. Then when we're above, you know, 50% health, which is really easy to get above 50% health in Templar. You just, you know what I mean, heal. You know what I mean? We're a Templar, we're a heal bot. You know what I'm saying? And we just basically get that extra spell damage to help us, you know what I mean, burst down our enemy. So Ancient Dragon Guard, really good damage and sustain set, especially for this setup we got, bro. When we drop below 50%, when we drop below like 30%, we're basically just immortal, bro. Nothing can, like, it's gonna be so hard to kill us. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, you know what I mean, 5 light, 2 heavy. Little pieces, you want to put maximum Magicka on the little pieces. And like I said, big pieces, multi-effect. Now, our jewelry, we have the Pariah jewelry on. Spell damage, enchantment on all of them. Healthy as the trait. If you don't want healthy, if you feel like you could live without the, you know, the health bonus, you could just put on, you know, anything you want. If you want to put on infused or something like that, or max Magicka, you could do whatever you want. You feel me? I personally like the more health, you know, especially for bombers. You know, bombers is really a big thing, and now they're in Cyrodiil as well. Bombers have plague Cyrodiil as well, so just something to help us, you know, put a little extra coating on us, so bombers have no chance of killing us. You know what I'm saying? Now it's time for our abilities. So let's go to our front bar first, our back bar, our damage bar. So first ability, puncturing sweeps. Sweeps, you already know, one of the best spammables in the game, if not the best. You feel me? I think this is the best spammable, bro. Does magic damage and to the target, and does magic damage to all other enemies. It reduces movement speed by 40%. This really helps to slow down people with a, you know, who like to roll, dodge and stuff, and get the major expedition buff with the you know, the bow passives and just stuff like that. It really helps slow people down. And we also get a 43%. You also heal for 43% of the damage done with this ability. Really good. So it's a spam move that does a lot of damage, slowing the enemy and giving us a really good heal. So you already know, one of the best spam moves in the game. Now degeneration, a pretty good magic tick. You know, does magic damage over 11 seconds, but we don't really use it for the damage. We use it for the major sorcery that it gives us, which basically boosts our spell damage by 20% for 22 seconds. So this is our spell damage boost. Yeah, and it also does a pretty good magic damage tick. Now Vampire's Bane, a flame damage tick. It does flame damage to the target and an additional flame damage over 16 seconds. Pretty good flame damage, especially when you're going up against the enemy vampire. You know what I mean? This tick is really gonna help whittle them down. And upon activation, you gain major prophecy that increases your spell critical rating by 2,600. Now, I replaced this ability with Purifying Light. And I know a lot of people like running Purifying Light. I know it's kind of people think it's a must on Templar's builds, but personally, I've personally enjoyed running Vampire's Bane better. I've enjoyed this more than Purifying Light on this build, you feel me? Just for the simple fact of Purifying Light kind of gives you a small window for you to do your damage. You know what I mean? It gives you a small window to copy the damage, you know, do the damage and stuff. And that's not what you want to do in this build. This build, it takes like, it's like a, you know, it's a slow it's a process, you know what I mean? You don't just put up something, you know, and do the damage that at that very moment. You need to find the perfect opportunity, and I feel like Vampire's Bane gives us a way bigger window of opportunity to do our damage than Purifying Light. Like, but Vampire's Bane, we get what, 16 seconds or 14 seconds, I think. Let me see how much how long does it give you the penetration for? I mean, the spell crit. It gives you 15 seconds you know what I mean, window of opportunity to do your damage, instead of, you know, Purifying Light doing, you know, give you like what, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, I forget, you know what I'm saying. And I feel like it gives you way more damage as well as an ability. Like, even unbuff, like if we buff up, right, if we buff up, that is doing a 15k flame damage tick over 16 seconds. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it gives more damage than Purifying Light as well, in terms of just the dot in general. You know what I'm saying? But if you really want to run Purifying Light, you can, if you want to swap it with Vampire's Bane. But I don't suggest I don't suggest it. I feel like Vampire's Bane is really good. Getting us to that 30% spell critical rating is really good. It gives us consistent crits, and, you know, a really good you know, damage tick as well, you feel me? And it helps us get crit heals as well with our jabs. So yeah, Vampire's Bane. If you don't want to run Vampire's Bane, you can run Purifying Light. Now, toppling charge, our stun, one of our main stuns. I really like this ability. You charge somebody and impale them, dealing magic damage, and you stun them for 3 seconds and setting them off a balance. And this interrupts casting. I like that this is not only a stun, but it's a gap closer. I really like this, especially for people who like running away, you know, sorks who like running away from the fight when they're about to die. Stam mag sorks, just really good. I really like it as a gap closer, and when you stun them, you get to do a lot of damage while they're on the ground. So really good. I like toppling charge. Radiant Oppression, this is our execute. This is actually one of the best executes in the game, I believe, you feel me? I really love this execute. It does magic damage over 1.8 seconds. It deals up to 480% more damage to enemies below 50% health, and also deals up to 20% damage in portion of your current Magicka. Now, this is really good, because this is not like Executioner or any other execute where people could just roll dodge out of it, you know, and don't get executed. Once I apply this on, let's say, a Nightblade who likes to roll dodge and stuff, once I apply this on them, ain't no roll dodge and ain't no none of that. You're taking all this execute damage and you're getting up out of there, you know what I'm saying? So I really like it. It's a beam, really good, just to get people up out of there, you feel me? Crescent Sweep, really good ultimate. This is not, you could just say this is a sixth ability on this bar, because it's so cheap. You get this back every 2 seconds. It says you swing your Arctic Spear around with Holy Vengeance, dealing magic damage to all enemies, and additional magic damage every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of burst magic damage and a pretty good tick. And it says enemies in your path will be hit for 60% more damage. I don't know what in your path means. I guess in front of you. So people in front of you is going to take 60% more damage. So even more damage on top of what it's doing. Really good ability. Really dirt cheap. Just, yeah. Now for the back bar. Our main heal is going to be Honor the Dead. It gives us... It heals yourself or a wounded ally for health. Healing anyone who is below 75% health restores 18% of the ability cost every 2 seconds over 6 seconds as Magicka. So not only this is a good heal, but if you're low or if the person you're healing is low, you get that Magicka back, which we can't complain about more resources. Like, come on. Rapid regeneration. This is mainly why I run restoration staff. Gives us a nice heal tick over 5 seconds, bro. Even like I said, I don't like to say numbers, you feel me, because numbers do change in combat and stuff like that. But unbuffed, no buffs at all, none of that, we get a 19k heal tick over 5 seconds. Do you know what 19k is? Like that's actually a crazy heal tick over 5 seconds. It's actually crazy, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty cheap, and yeah, just what a really good heal paired with Honor the Dead. You feel me? Now, deep thoughts. Now, remember when I was talking about how you wouldn't have to worry about resources on this build? This is why you won't have to worry about resources. Deep thoughts is one of the, this is basically, this is what, you know what I call this? I call this the free resource button. You know what I'm saying? This is the free resource button. You focus your body and mind to a meditative state, healing you for 1,600 health and restoring almost 2,000 maximum Magicka and stamina every 1 second, bro. It's so good, bro. It's so good if you're like kiting enemies, or you even in a fight, even during a fight, if you're fighting people in a 1-on or 2v1, you could just do this in front of their face. Sit in your circles and do it in front of their face. You know what I mean? Get your resources back in front of the face. Or if you're getting outnumbered, you know what I'm saying? Outnumbered, go into like a corner or something. Pop this. If you're running out of stamina or Magicka, then go about your day again. It's really good. It's a free resource button. You don't really, bro. We have so much resources on this build. It's absolutely crazy. You don't have to worry about resources at all. You know what I'm saying? So, that's why I run Deep Thoughts. Really good. Just free resource button. You know what I'm saying? Free resource button. And it's really good because a lot of people, some people don't even know how to counter this, but some people don't know that they need to bash people when they're doing this. So sometimes you're just fighting people that let you just get their resources in front of them, not knowing they could just bash you out of it. You know what I'm saying? But the bashing does have a cooldown. Like if you go into this, somebody bashes you and you do it again, it does have a cooldown. They can't instantly bash you out again. I believe it's like it's a cooldown, like 3-5 seconds, I believe. And yeah. Now extended ritual. This is gonna be our cleanse. Templars have one of the best cleanses in the game. It cleanses 5 harmful effects off yourself immediately and healing you and nearby allies for 2,000 health. You feel me? I can't be saying the numbers because numbers change. It heals you for health every 2 seconds for 24 seconds. And allies can purify themselves as well and give themselves heals. So really good. Really good for yourself and really good for your team. You're healing yourself, your team, you're cleansing yourself and your team. So really good ability just for every situation, you feel me? Especially if people like to put dots on you, run into those pesky dot builds that put like 5-7 dots on you, you feel me? Just boop, pop this once, you're purified. You know what I'm saying? Now, channeled focus is create. This is gonna be our form of major resolve that increases our physical spell resistance by about 6,000. You also recover 242 max Magicka every 1 second. Every 1 second over the duration. So basically, what is 242 times 2? Can I do this math in my head? Let me believe. 484, I believe. 484. Basically, this is giving us 484 Magicka recovery. Because as you can see, if we go to the character sheet, Magicka recovery, you get a Magicka recovery every 2 seconds. We get 200 42 Magicka every 1 second. So when 2 seconds hit, we get 484. So you just basically slap 484 in your Magicka recovery when you pop this. That's basically what this is. A 484 Magicka recovery bonus, which is really good. Just so much magic is this thing. You're not gonna, it's gonna be very hard for you to run out of Magicka, bro. Just with everything, it's gonna be very hard. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even done explaining this ability, man. Like I said, major resolve, major war gives us a resistance bonus. And standing within the ruin, this is the change I was talking about. Instead of it giving you a resistances, you get a 1,385 heal every 1 second, which scales off your max health. Now, this is really good, especially with this build, is because we already have the resistances. For this build, we can stand to lose the resistances that this used to give us, because we already are over cap. We are way over cap with this build. You know what I'm saying? We overshot cap 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So switching off, like replacing resistances with heals on this build is really good. You feel me? Because like I said, we already do darn well with his resistances. So extra heal every 1 second is really good when we're standing in the ruin. Really good. A lot of sustain, bro. A lot of sustain. You feel me? Now for our ult, we are running Swarming Scion. You transform to the Scion, and that instantly healing you to full health. So this could be used if you're, you know, in trouble, if you're about to die and stuff. You instantly heal to full health. While you transform, your max health, magic, and stamina are increased by 10,000. You are healed for 60% of all damage you deal. Now 60%. So not only we get more magic and stamina, but you heal for 60% of all damage you deal. Now this pairs really well with Puncturing Sweep, that heals us for 43% of the damage done with Puncturing Sweep. You know what I'm saying? So healing from this and healing from this, we're gonna be so we're gonna be so healthy on the offense. It's actually gonna be crazy. You feel me? We're gonna be so healthy on the offense. We're not gonna even, like, come on. We're not gonna have no worries when we're on the offense. We don't gotta worry about the fences, none of that, because we could just, when you pop this, all you want to do is damage the person. Just go do your damage. You know what I'm saying? You have the perfect opportunity to just go do your damage. Bats also swarm you and shred enemies that come close, dealing 2,887 magic damage every 1 second. So not only we getting all of these stats, you know what I mean, the stats I just said, but we also getting a kind of a magic tick around our body doing damage, which will help us get more health, since we do get 60% of all health from all the damage we deal. So really good offensive or defensive ult, however you want to use it. If you don't want to use Swarming Scion, you can use Practice Incantation. Practice Incantation is situational. I prefer Swarming Scion better, more than I prefer Practice Incantation. This used to be my ult. Practice Incantation used to be my ult, but so I've been having so much fun with Swarming Scion, man. It's really good, especially if you're in a pickle, or especially if you just want to have so much damage to just get somebody out of there. It's so good. You feel me? It's so good, and we have enough sustain to gain the ultimate meaning to get this ability. I mean this ult. So really good. Practice Incantations, if you want to use it, it's kind of situational. You feel me? But that's pretty much the abilities. Yeah, that's pretty much the abilities. Now let's go into CP. Now CP got some changes. You feel me? CP look a little bit different, but I think I figured it out the best. You know, I figured it out. You feel me? I figured it out. So 50 into 10 aggression, raw spell damage, 150 spell damage you get from this. Really good. Into starving death, 20 to quick recovery, 2% healing taken, really good, more healing. Hardy, 20 to hit, 2% damage reduction from physical attacks or martial attacks, which really good. 2% damage reduction from magical attack when you put 20 to elemental ages, so really good. We have 20 to here. We have 20 to enriched Eldritch insight. You're gonna, you know what I mean, gives us 520 maximum Magicka, just a little bit you know, Magicka bonus, you know what I mean, can't complain about that. We have 20 to here. And to master, what is this called, master curation, we have 20 to bless, even more healing, gives us 2% healing done, really good. Precision, we have 10 into precision, gives us a little bit more crit chance, but the reason we put it to precision so we can access wrathful strikes, that gives us 165 spell damage to our ability. So this is really gonna up our jabs, so this is gonna be really good. 15 to tireless disciple, this is where I just dumped the rest of my points in. This is where I just dumped my points, but you know, more stamina, why not? I had the extra points. Now if we go into extended might, we have 20 to piercing, giving us 700 offensive penetration, pretty good. We have 40 into flawless ritual. Now I kind of want to take, actually I'll do this right now, I'll take some out of flawless ritual because we really don't apply status effects. I'll take it out of flawless ritual and put it into these, you know what I'm saying, because we don't really, you know what I mean, 20 is good for here, and we just put the rest into here. But 27 to flawless ritual, or 20, you need 20 to access war mage, and we put 30 to here to get 100 spell damage on our magical attacks. Alright, biting aura, we put 50 into here to increase our damage done with area effective attacks by 10%. So this is going to be our jabs, this is going to be our radical sweep, so really good for just area attacks. This is going to boost our vampire, the bats that swarm around us, so really good. And master our arms, increase your damage done with direct damage. Now jabs, I believe jabs is still direct damage. It should still be direct damage, so our jabs is getting increased by this, and you know what I mean, our jabs is our main spam, so more damage on our jabs, really good. We done with this CP tree. Now let's go into the red tree. So we have 20 to tireless guardian, you know, just to decrease our block cost. So you know, we are in light armor, like I said, we run 5-piece light, so we already get increased block cost. So this really helps, you know, mitigate some of that cost, that stamina cost we lose from blocking. 30 into fortification, increases our damage we mitigate when we block by 4%. Hasty, actually I haven't put points. Hey, I'll do this with y'all right now. 16 to hasty, you know what I mean, just because we have extra points, and why not, it increases our movement speed when sprinting. Let's put 20 into sprinter, reduces the cost of our sprint by 20%, really good, just to help mobility. These two are just to help all around mobility. We have 20 into hero's vigor, just to increase our max health by a little bit of max health never hurt. 50 into mystic tenacity, just because we have the extra points, like I said, like I keep saying. You know what I mean, this is pretty good if you're fighting somebody who runs a lot of elemental status effect, and they apply it to you. This reduces the damage a lot. 25% mitigation to your elemental status effect that's applied to you, so really good. 30 into tumbling, that it reduces our roll dodge cost by 240. This is really good paired with the light armor passive that already decreases our roll dodge cost. So basically our roll dodges are going to cost nothing. It's going to cost dirt cheap. 20 into Defiance, reduces the cost of break free by 110 per stage, so 220 cost reduction. Just more you know, sustain when we're doing, you know, stamina action, you know, just, you know, not losing that much stamina for breaking free. 50 into Balance Vitality, giving us 1,400 maximum health. We have 50 into here. Just more health is really good. Like I said, I like more health, you know, for bombers and stuff like that, and just for burst damage in general, more health is really good to survive, stuff like that. Ironclad, we have 1,731 armor when we put 15 to here. This is really good, you know, extra armor. Like, extra armor is good. We have a lot of armor on this build. Stacking up more armor doesn't hurt. You know what I mean? Just really good. 15 to Rejuvenation, increases our health, magic, and stamina recovery by 50 or 150. Just extra resource sustain for our magic and stamina. You know what I mean? Really good. Why not get extra, you know, sustain for those? So yeah. And we have 15 to Juggernaut, which increases our damage mitigation while we're in crowd control immunity by 10%. So while you get stunned and you break free from that stun, that time that you're immune to crowd control, you get mitigations, which is really good. Gives you a lot of mitigations in the overall fight. You know what I mean? Keeps you up for the overall fight. And the green tree, I don't gotta explain the green tree. This is purely like, you know, just, I call it the cosmetic tree, you feel me? If you can see where I put my points into. And yeah, that's pretty much the build. Like I said, I've really enjoyed this Magicka Templar build. It's really been good. I really enjoyed it in all forms of PvP. And penetration is not going to mean anything to you on this build, you feel me? Like you're basically going to be immune to pen on this build. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe, join the empire, you feel me? You already know, helps me out, helps the channel out, helps the channel grow. And that's pretty much it. Dre's Empire out. I'm gonna see